Good morning and welcome to another Cookopoly. This is our third roll, but if you're not familiar with it, this is the brainchild of Carrie over at Weight Watchers with Carrie. Now, she came up with this idea to turn Monopoly into a WW themed game. So there's several of us that are helping her out, and each week, my oven is preheated. We're ready to go. She rolls our piece, and then, what she lands on is what we have to do. So it is Sunday morning. It is 0:30. People are still asleep, except my grandson. I don't know if he fell back asleep, but I was in the shower, and the door all of a sudden just started popping up, and I had already got out, and the door started popping up, and I let out a big hey because there's people in this house that don't need to be in the bathroom. And I looked around, I didn't see him. So I was like, okay, the air made a little suction thing and shut it. When I got through, I come in here and he was laying on the couch. And it was about 6 o'clock at that time. That is like 2 hours too early. So I coaxed him into going back to bed. He wasn't having it at first, but he did. So that's why I'm trying to go on and get in here and get it started. Try not to be very loud. Hope you can hear me. And the recipe I'm going to do is an Apple Cranberry Baked Oatmeal. I think that may be the correct name. Anyway, it looked delicious. And so I'm going to gather up all the ingredients, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Now, I have assembled our ingredients. It is a big list of ingredients, but it's not anything too hard to do. So let's just get started. First thing, we need 2 eggs. Oh, y'all, I just spilled that. Dribbled that. Figures right. And to that, we're going to beat in 2 tablespoons of just plain brown sugar. This does not have any artificial sweeteners in it whatsoever. And you can see the little round. Pack your spoons, because y'all know when I cook with the brown sugar, I say pack it because you want all you get for your points. Okay, now we've got the brown sugar and the eggs all mixed up. I'm using my quiet whisk. So we're just going to add all of our wet ingredients. That would be 1/3 cup of plain non-fat Greek yogurt. The recipe calls for 1/3 cup of unsweetened applesauce. I don't want just a little bit left out of this. These are little half-cup servings. I'm just going to put the whole thing in there and hope for the best. And a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just going to kind of eyeball that. A tablespoon of honey. And if you'll do this first, hit your measuring spoon if you don't have one of the squirt jars. Now, I think I've told you before, they say use local honey because it's good for your immune system. I hadn't even opened it up yet. I had to replace it the other week and I hadn't needed to use it. This comes from a man that we actually know and worked with when we met. His name is Robert Dennis. Dennis's Finest Honey. But the trucking company, I think I have told y'all this before, they all have nicknames, handles. Your truck driver, you have a handle. When you work on the dock, the fellows still give you handles. And since he kept bees, everybody knew him as B-Man. So this is B-Man's Honey. I honestly don't know, since this was way back in the 90s. And he wasn't old, but he was probably my age. I'm 57, and maybe he was around that age back then. So I don't know if he's still alive and does the bees or if his sons, but at any rate, this is our local honey. So I didn't really want to dip that down in there and get any of that. Whew. Okay, see how that comes right off? That will help you out a lot if you'll spray that first. I think it's a mess, ain't it? But it sure is good. Goodness. Now my hands are sticky. Okay, I want to go ahead and blend all that together before I add the almond milk, just to make sure it got incorporated. This is 1 1/4 cup of unsweetened almond milk. The recipe says you can use regular milk if you want to. If you do, be sure and calculate your points, because I'm not sure how that would change. I had the tail end of some almond milk I needed to use up, so I didn't even try to use regular milk. Now, we're going to add our dry ingredients. That would be 2 cups of oatmeal. The recipe says quick will work okay. I have both, but I have a whole lot more of old-fashioned, so I'm going to use old-fashioned. This is, let's see, let me look at my list here. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Yep, I got it right. 1/4 teaspoon, no, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I think that is all the dry. Let me make sure. Yes, it is. I am cheating and looking at my recipe. This is the first time I've ever made this, so I don't have it memorized. I picked it because it looked delicious. Okay, now the recipe says 1 cup of cranberries. I happen to have these still frozen from last season, so it'll be time to replace them. And 1 cup or 1 large apple. These are small, and I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to use these 2 small apples. By the time I core it, I think it'll be fine. I don't think it'll be, I don't think it will be too much. So you don't need to watch me chop apples. I think you know how to chop apples. I'll come back when I get that through. I decided, once I got that chopped up and put in this bowl, to me that looked like enough apples. I'm not going to do 2, and I don't know if that's a cup or not, but once you get it chopped up that small, it makes a pretty good bit of apple. So we're going to add the 1 cup of cranberries. I took these out and let them thaw overnight in the fridge. Now the one thing she doesn't do that I'm going to do, I'm going to add just a little shot of salt, because salt will bring up the sweetness, and there's not a lot of sweetener in here, so this is not going to be a sweet oatmeal. But what I'm thinking, if it's not, some sugar-free syrup would probably be really delicious on this. So there's one more step. This is a 9-inch pie plate. Sprayed it. Just press that down. Oh! Ooh, y'all just about seen a mess. If y'all was watching something I was cooking the other day, I was squeezing tomatoes and that juice shot everywhere. Okay, now there is a topping that goes on here. I need to make some room for those couple ingredients, so just hang tight. The topping calls for light butter. She does not specify a brand, but this is what I use. The Country Crock Light. Melted. So the way I did that is I took the teaspoon, called for the teaspoon, and just set it in that bowl and microwaved it just so it would stay in the spoon. I don't want to have so much stick to the bowl, you know. Then it is half a tablespoon of plain old white sugar, 3/4 of a tablespoon of all-purpose flour. Now it's too early for me to do math. I know there's 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon, if I'm not wrong. A half would be a teaspoon and a half. 3/4, too early. I eyeballed both of these. So mix those together. And then she says, drizzle this. And we're just supposed to mix it until it's a crumb. Okay, y'all, I'm just going to tell you right now. There is no way a teaspoon of butter with that little bit of topping is going to make a crumb. There's no way around that. we're leaving that step off. And honestly, I do not think that is enough to change the points. I will have the points on the screen. I do want to do this though. Kind of distribute those cranberries because that's so pretty. A little bit. Everybody wants a little bit of cranberries, a little bite. And it looks pretty with the peeled apple too. Might be pretty at Christmas if you used a green apple. Ooh, that would be pretty. Use a green apple and don't peel it. And put it in with those red cranberries for Christmas morning breakfast or a Christmas brunch. Oh, that would be beautiful. Okay, we'll pop this in at 375. I think it says about 42 minutes. I'm going to start checking it at like 30. Okay, I let it go for 40 minutes. And the toothpick came out perfectly clean. I give it time to cool so when we try to scoop it out, it doesn't fall apart, hopefully. Now, she says she cuts it into 6 servings like a pie. So, that's a good way to get even portions. Okay, that's as even a portion as you're going to get in this house. I'm going to try with my pie scooper. Okay, there we go. That is, let's see. I think her said, I'll put it on the screen. I think her said 5 points on Freestyle, which would now be the blue plan. But purple plan oatmeal is 0. So your points are going to be lower. I will run this through the recipe builder and put all the calculations for all 3 plans on the screen. It's such a pretty fall dish. Let me give it a little taste. Okay, I was afraid it wouldn't be sweet enough, but surprisingly, maybe it's the apples. The cranberries they're not tart. They're just the right amount of tartness they add, but the apples are really sweet. And I think some syrup on it would be good, but you really don't need it. It's really a good dish, so I think I made a good choice. I believe you might want to try this one.